Hey guys, it's John here. We are checking in at a client's house today. It is the end of July. I can't even believe the summer is flying by. Fall will be here before we know it, which is so exciting. I always love fall, but we're doing a summer plant check-in with all of the flowers. They look pretty good, but I'll show you guys kind of what we're doing and um, what what that looks like. We have a flower bed in the front of her house, and it looks so good, you guys. We have a Medusa sweet potato vine. This is a Proven Winners Sweet Caroline sweet potato vine, and look at that. Look how beautiful that is. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's not too big. It's obviously encroaching on some of the plants, but most sweet potato vines get absolutely massive, so to have this tight little border of sweet potato vine is absolutely lovely. We have some Kawaii Vinca right here. This is my favorite Vinca ever. We do need to come in and trim up these sweet potato vines just a little bit in this border. We did have kind of a rabbit issue. There were some rabbits they just hang out in this area. That's why they've made a little not nest, but they've killed some plants in this area. So we have the Kawaii Vinca. This is the peppermint. Look at that, the peppermint Kawaii Vinca. Isn't that pretty? And then behind it, we have a gnome purple gomphrena, kind of a shorter dwarf gomphrena. Absolutely lovely, fills in the space perfectly. Again, we do have some dead plants in here that we do need to take care of and clean out just a little bit. Behind that, we have some raspberry angelonia. This is an angel face raspberry. Look how pretty that is. And then we have some sparkler pink celosias. Let me go on the side, I'll show you guys that. The sparkler pink celosias. Look how beautiful those are. These are still chunking out lots of blooms. This one's crested. Look how fun that is. And then this is a little bit closer up of the raspberry archangel angelonia. Just such a pretty color. And then behind that we have a pentas, rose tone pentas. Look at that. I always love pentas. It's just really good in the garden in the summer, but it's a hummingbird magnet. The hummingbirds, really a pollinator magnet, but everything absolutely loves it. We did tuck in some intense purple celosias, just kind of where there were some gaps about 2 weeks ago, just to fill it in and give them some late summer color with that purple flowers. And then in the back we have a angel face Wedgwood pink. I'm like, what is the name? Wedgwood pink. Look how pretty that is. That pink angelonia, pink and white bicolor. And it's been so vigorous, you guys. It has done so well in the back. Really cranking out some beautiful blooms all summer. So now we're gonna trim up these sweet potato vines. Oh, we do have some volunteer celosias that we had in here last year. So that's fun. That red. Oh, and there's another one over here. Look at that. So we're trimming these up today. We did have some cascading vincas here. Actually, we still do, but they've kind of gotten swallowed up. But honestly, I'm totally okay with that because I just love the way that these sweet potato vines look. Typically what we do for this is just go right back to the base or really anywhere and just give it a good snip and then clear it away. This is going to give this vinca a little bit more room to grow without getting totally covered up by these sweet potato vines. So we're gonna finish up this row. I'll kind of show you guys what it looks like at the end. Alright, everything looks really good. We didn't give it like a too big of a trim, just to really give this Kawaii Vinca just a little bit of breathing room. I love this Kawaii Vinca. It's just a little bit slower growing than some other plants, so you're going to want to make sure you do trim up some things around it just so it doesn't get swallowed up. We are going to remove some of these dead gomphrenias here, and we might replace them. We do have some Dragon's Breath Celosia. Dragon's Breath Celosia that we can pop in to kind of fill in those gaps there. Alrighty, we are all done trimming things up. This was our trim pile, but it all looks pretty good. We planted those dragon's breath celotias. We planted 3 back there and then 3 of them back there, and I think they're gonna fill in really nicely. I hope this rabbit doesn't come back, but it might come back, and that's totally fine. But everything else looks really good. We didn't tuck any over here because it looked pretty good. We did tuck one in right here where there was a dead gomphrena plant. So anyways, we're gonna fertilize everything and head on to the backyard. This is what we use on all of our annual beds. It's a Proven Winners water soluble fertilizer. And all we do is take a scoop per gallon. So these watering cans are 2 gallons, the ones that we typically use. We just take 2 scoops, 1, 2, and then fill it up with some water. Turn on the water here. I would definitely recommend putting the fertilizer in before the water in here, just so it gets nice and dissolved. Now for the size bed, we usually use around 4 watering cans, which means it's about 8 gallons. So we're gonna do 2 more, we're gonna fertilize, and then we're gonna go to the backyard. It's really important just to drench the soil so they get nice and saturated with some good fertilizer water. Usually in the summer months, I feel like we're watering so frequently. Sometimes it's twice a day when it's really, really hot out. So the soil is getting leached from its minerals very, very quickly with the amount of watering that we do. So it's important to fertilize. A lot of people think that you don't need to fertilize your plants when it's like really hot out, which, you know, if it's 115 degrees out, I wouldn't fertilize your plants like in the middle of the day, but you can always give them a little bit of fertilizer. I've never had problems with that, especially like annual plants that are actively growing. Like I wouldn't feed like a rose bush per se, that's kind of in its summer dormancy, but annuals that are like continuing to grow all summer, you can definitely still feed them. Love using the Proven Winners brand because it has a chelated iron in it. The desert typically is a little bit of a mineral deficient in iron, so it's always good to replenish iron. That really keeps the leaves nice and dark and green. So we always use the Proven Winners fertilizer whenever we fertilize our annuals, just to really keep our plants nice and healthy, and I can tell how much better they look. Okay, now let's head to the backyard. Okay, so we are in the backyard. We have these 2 really pretty containers here, like a circular raised bed, if you will. They are a metal one. I don't know exactly where they are from, but they actually have done really well. I kind of treat them as like a giant container, and I absolutely love them. We kind of have some hodgepodge things in here. We had a giant sunflower that wasn't looking good, so we removed that, added a mahogany hibiscus, and planted some zinnias. We pinched these about 2 weeks ago, and they are branching out really nicely, so I'm hoping this gives us some height in here in just a few weeks. We popped in some intense purple celotias here. That's the color, like a dark purple. Again, these get pretty big as well. Some angelonias. We have some pentas. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was an irrigation issue or what, but some things just got a little burned. Some gomphrena. This is the gnome purple, and then this is the truffula pink gomphrena. Look how pretty that is. It kind of looks like a fireworks gomphrena that we have over here, just a little bit more tame. This is the fireworks, and it's really, really big. This is one plant. Look how massive that is. But again, it got a little bit burned. I don't know exactly what happened, but I will do some investigation. We have some of the more of the angelonia, the Wedgwood pink, and the raspberry over here, and then a beautiful sweet potato vine. We have another one that's just trailing. We didn't plant it this year. This actually came back from last year, so more of like a bronzy tone one that's going to trail down and look absolutely beautiful. I hope you guys can hear me. There is an air conditioner that is on, but again, we have a really pretty fireworks gomphrena. This is one plant, you guys. One plant. Look how massive this has gotten. It's a little bit big. I think the truffula pink would have been a little bit more of a compact habit in here. So I mean, I still absolutely love it. It is blocking the walkway, which is totally fine, but she can use this as a beautiful cut flower. We do have some tomatoes in here, and I didn't label any of the tomatoes. It kind of was a little free-for-all of what we had in there, but we have some Wedgwood pink angelonias we tucked in here. We have a roselle plant, this is hibiscus tea. If anyone has ever grown this, this is what hibiscus tea is made out of. They make these like like calyxes in the fall, and it's quite lovely. So we have this one. It's related to like a mahogany splendors hibiscus as well. Back this way we have more tomatoes. We might trim these up just a little bit today and trim up these sunflowers. This is a wild sunflower, and I did not plant any of the sunflowers in this garden, but we've just been trimming it back, and it has gotten so tall. Look at that. It is like above the arbor. It's like 10 feet tall. But they're really pretty, and they've just been blooming all summer. Look at that. So this is one plant, you guys. It's actually covering up a bougainvillea we have back there, but this is so pretty. I just kind of let it be. We've just been trimming this little like entryway. Look how magical this is. Absolutely beautiful. Some of the stuff is kind of tired. I really don't have a lot of vegetable gardens at my clients' houses. This is actually the only one. And a lot of the tomatoes have kind of finished for the summer because their pollen gets infertile when it gets above 100 degrees. So we might just rip some of them out, but we have some basil plants as well. Some more herbs over here, but yeah, some things just look kind of tired. We're gonna switch things up once it cools down just a little bit. This was a oregano plant, some chives over here. Finished pruning the vegetable garden. Now let's go to the backyard and check out on those pots. We are gonna fertilize them, so we're gonna fill up our cans first. And we use about, I don't know, maybe a third of a watering can in each container. The watering can has about 2 gallons of water in it, so math. For containers, we usually take off this nozzle, especially after the plants get established, and just shove it in there. So that way you're not breaking plants when you're putting that shower head in there, and this is gonna saturate the soil really nicely. You guys, we are checking in on the containers in the back, and they look so good. This sweet potato vine has definitely taken over a large part of the container. We might trim it back just a little bit, but we have some pentas in here. Some of it's looking kind of tired. Some more of that Angelonia, raspberry, and the Wedgwood pink. We have the gomphrena, kind of the same plants, the gnome purple. We have a strawberry cascade vinca. Look how gorgeous that is mixed in with that sweet potato vine. And then more of the same over here. Really, we kind of did the same plantings in all of them. And then we have a really pretty kawaii vinca over here, the kawaii peppermint, quite lovely. We did have a spike in here. This was the purple dracaena. They do look kind of tired. I think I'm going to leave them for now because it still gives kind of like a textural element, even though it's kind of dried in there. So we'll leave that for now and kind of see what we want to do with that later. But everything looks so good for the most part. Some things look tired, but we're going to give everything a good fertilize, and hopefully they check out some more blooms. But I have been so impressed with all of these flowers, but especially the vinca, the trailing vinca. Definitely a repeat bloomer, and that just cascades, just offers a really pretty trailing element in all of our containers. So we have 11 pots here, and we do have 3 pots over there that I'll show you guys. I planted these 3 weeks after the other ones, and they look so good. Still, look at this, you guys. Look at that vinca. This is one plant. Look how beautiful that is. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the strawberry. This is probably my favorite cascading vinca. Then we have the strawberry Angelonia in here, and then we have a berry sparkler Angelonia in here as well. Kind of that purple and violet and raspberry bicolor, if you will. But I love this combination. Look at that. And we have 3 of them over here. These vincas just look so healthy. And this is the trailing, and then this is the kawaii. So they're 2 different types of vinca, but I absolutely love using all of them. And yeah, this space looks so much better now that there's some color back here. You guys, we're gonna finish fertilizing. It is getting hot outside, so we're gonna wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.